Welcome everybody to the next episode of the Critical Hustle Happy Hour. This will be another week of sobriety for me. I don't really know what's going on. End of the year, I guess I'm trying to slow down. But I wanted to get today in and bring in the second part of the entrepreneur. I'm probably going to do like 100 parts of these because Critical Hustle is really about entrepreneurship and about helping motivate the highly motivated. But I'm going to tell you, my first guest that I'm bringing in here, I don't think I know a person any more motivated than this gentleman here. I've known him for probably 10 years now, maybe give or take a little bit here. I've seen him do everything from skits, comedy skits to forex to real estate, building a brand, like everything here. So this is basically, I'm not going to say a jack of all trades. I'm going to say he's a master of most trades as I watch him do it because I've never seen him do anything bad or in a bad way. There's always lessons to be learned, but I want to introduce you to Clint, aka one of the best Twitter names I've ever seen, Mr. Christopher Wallace. Yeah.
Hey, sure appreciate that interview. I sure appreciate that. Thanks for having me, Wes.
Hey, no problem. So I'm gonna just start out here and get down to it. Just run through a highlight film real quick by name and what it does of what you've been doing in your entrepreneurial space right now.
Okay, so I currently own Monetary Realty, monetary like money. And with Monetary Realty, the simplest terms, we help real estate investors find properties, off-market properties that enrich their portfolio. And so a lot of times with real estate investors, they are normally have an old tried a method for finding homes. We come in, bring some data, some quick thoughts to it, and we found a way to bring off-market properties right to their doorstep. And it's been profitable. This is our third year in business, and we're going on third year in business right now. We'll be officially 3 years in April. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Okay. So now let's talk about where you were 3 years ago. What were you doing 3 years ago?
Ooh, 3 years ago, I'm about to leave Methodist.
All right. So before I let you go there, then let me go back for it. Where were you at 4 years ago?
Okay. So I'm at Methodist, and before I became an entrepreneur, I was a hustler, hardcore. You know what I'm saying? I can't go to sleep until I make something shake. And so that was what I was doing. And I really thought that was being an entrepreneur, but I later learned that it wasn't. So at that time, probably about 4 years ago, selling software. I got an eBay store, and I'm just cracking into trades because I've been trading for about a little over 4 years now. So I'm probably either in the first year or at the end of the first year of trading. And I've learned a lot. I've lost a lot, but I kept going. You know what I'm saying? So about 4 years ago, I'm working my 9 to 5, couple hustles, trying to, and it's funny because I thought those were my streams of income, but they were just my other job. You know what I'm saying? So I had to learn that difference later on.
Okay. I mean, that's a real conversation in and of itself. One of the reasons why, not one of the reasons, but one of the most important reasons that I wanted to have you on here was a lot of people are working jobs right now, and they're really just working to make ends meet. You know, check to check, and not even check to check because you're bad at managing money, but check to check because this is where you are economically. This is what's paying your bills. This is where you're going there. I know you mentioned having an eBay store. I remember we talked a while ago, and you were like, "Man, I would just go to Goodwill, find this, put this up there, sell that." And then, how did you? I'm gonna start with how did you find forex?
Yeah.
Trading?
Man, a buddy of mine actually introduced me to it, and it's so funny because the money he introduced it to me, I had just paid rent with my eBay store. You know what I'm saying? And so he made a $40 trade and off of what he called a penny. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, bro, I made $40. I'm like, all right, that's cool. I just paid rent with my eBay store, but I had to do a lot shipping, finding, and stuff like that. So he was mentioning forex. I've always been, kin to investing, whether it been stock, whether it been small business or something. So I was already in the market of investing. So I'm like, let me check this out. Forex, foreign currency, trying to see what they're doing. And he introduced it to me, and it was pretty cool. I thought everything was spaghetti at first because I've looked at stock charts. So I thought I would kind of have the same understanding. It was not the same. It was such a fast moving volatile market that had a lot of opportunity if you know how to play it. But he brought it to me with his $40 trade, and I dismissed it. Ironically, I dismissed it. It led to me being able to quit my job, but at that moment, I dismissed the shit out of forex.
Okay, and then here's the thing. I want to tell anybody, this conversation is really not about Forex. Like that's not the purpose of this. Like Forex is great. You're into it however you want to. Personally, I will say this. I just paid attention to it to actively be involved in the last month to 2 months. And I say this because I've known Clint a long time and we've had numerous conversations about it. And to his point of dismissing it, I won't even say I was dismissive to it. I just was like, yeah, I'm not trying to learn that. So it's if you want to learn it, you can learn it. The reason why I want to bring this up is because one of the things that I recognize about Forex, about eBay, about any of this, even from an entrepreneur standpoint, when you work a job, you can be an entrepreneur and still have a job. The way that I teach people about entrepreneurship is you shouldn't quit your job. Like all that, throw it all and risk it all. I am not for it. I am the least person that'll ever tell you that if you're making money now and that's paying your bills, your goal is to make sure that whatever you're doing in your entrepreneurial hustle or your entrepreneurial dreams is that it balances out. So once that whatever your entrepreneurial dream is making you the same amount that you're making on your check, then you can start having the thoughts and the process of leaving. I still stand by the fact of, but if you make 30,000 on your job and you make 30,000 in your side, your entrepreneur dreams, so you made $60,000 that year. So now your goal should be, well, can I really apply that much more time and get that much more out of whatever my entrepreneurial thing is? But what I want to talk to Clint about is when you made the transition from Methodist and start looking at it to go into Forex full time. I don't know if you want to tell this much of it, but I kind of want to talk numbers a little bit.
Let's talk numbers.
When you look at your household bills prior to you making that transition, how much did you need to make to be able to make that transition?
I'd say about $1,600 a month. If I could make that, I could take care of all of the incidentals, and I could take care of that. And at the time, eBay was a safe $1,200 a month. If I did just the bare minimum, if I came up, it was some more. With trading, I will say, so I went into it, I guess, gung ho, and I don't mean to say that in the wrong, sense or anything, but I just was really there for the quick bag. And so I'm following a lot of different signals of traders who I think are good traders and all that good stuff. And I have no trading strategy of my own. And so the first year was really just trying to, get that under control, get my emotions under control, know what I'm looking for. And so it's funny because Bitcoin right now is surging at all-time high. I'm sure everybody's seeing it on the news feed from some new Bitcoin guru that pops up every time it's at all-time high. But at the time of 2017, November, if you go look it up, the second week of November to the end of November, it was at I'm talking about 40 straight hours of green candles going up on Bitcoin. And it was the first time that I had made a significant play. And this was probably around November. Mind you, I end up quitting in September, but I really just leave in September. You know what I'm saying? Methodist paid for a few more. So I really wasn't on my own to December as far as like expenses and everything. But around June, I start turning not only break even. So a lot of traders, you can win big, but one loss can take care of all your wins, or you'll do good, and that one loss just sets you all the way behind. I was in that routine cycle for a while until my trading strategy got together, and I thought, okay, well, I'm winning, at least 70% of the time, give or take. And if I'm right, 1 out of 4 trades, I break even. Once I was able to get there, that's what allowed me to say, okay, now I got extra income. And then around November, that Bitcoin play netted me around 12,000. And that was enough to say, you know what, I'm all the way good. And then that's when I gave up the eBay store. And so it's funny because Methodist was replaced by Forex and eBay. And then eBay was replaced maybe about 2 months later completely. You know what I'm saying? Well, I was completely done with it, going out and finding chairs and golf bags. That was my lick on eBay, chairs and golf bags.
Okay. So I'm gonna go back for a second, because one of the things that I think is important is the number that you said was 1,600. If you make 1,600, you're good there, which roughly equates to about $10 an hour before taxes, of course. So the reason why I bring this up is because a lot of people think that they are far away from being able to change their life. And they think about it like, standard, if you make $10 an hour, minimum wage or whatever, conceptually, you think the difference between where you are now and a path out of that space is far away.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that, again, it's not so much to say that Forex is the path for people, but I think one of the biggest misconceptions is people stop having hope. Like being an entrepreneur is, it's a lot of hope to a certain degree, and a lot of like being shrewd in your approach towards your entrepreneurial goals. Like to go sell on eBay, you kind of have to know what's valuable and know when you have a deal. You have
Yeah.
to know when, all right, look, this bag may cost $40, but I'm gonna make 60 off of it, or I might be able to buy 12 of these $5 bags and make 20. There,
Yeah.
and understanding those things. And I think that a lot of times when people become, they have these entrepreneurial dreams, like you said, they get caught so much into the rush of it. Like, okay, I've started this, I've done this. Because I remember one of the first conversations we had when we had reconnected about it, and you were like, "Yeah, I left Memphis. I'm doing Forex, right?" And you were completely excited about Forex and was ready to go. And I think the first thing I told you was, "All right, you've accomplished like the dream that everybody has. You created your own job. Like you have a job that you don't have to work on nobody else. It all depends on you. So you got it, but you haven't created your business yet.
Mm.
So at a certain point, you're gonna make this money easy. Like this is gonna be a no-brainer. But how do you grow? You
Yeah.
know? And one of the main reasons why we're talking right now is because I feel like when I said that to you, like you took it and you ran a whole nother marathon on people, and I was like, I'm getting left behind in the conversations I had. But I was like, you know what? I'm glad to see it go, because a lot of people, they achieve some level of success in whatever they're doing. Like, I'm making money over here. I'm good. I don't have to go report or work this person. I'm not wasting not wasting my time, but I'm not working on somebody else's time clock. I'm working on my own.
Yeah.
And they get complacent, you know. And one of the reasons why I told you that was because I was like, it's very easy to get complacent with making the money that you need to make it to, that you're making it now. So what used to take you 8 hours to get every day, you might be doing in an hour.
Yeah.
What you doing with the rest of your time, There, hold on. I want to bring my other guest in here. This is Marion, is a good friend of mine. Hey, Marion, she's on mute right now. She muted herself, so I know I can't. Check this out. So Marion is one of my good friends who's on mute. And
sorry, I almost fell, so I had to mute myself.
No, the visual would have been fine, but but Marion is also in the entrepreneurial space. She's somebody that I've known her a while now, and I've watched work a regular job, but she's always found some way that she's able to. Well, she does like resume stuff, so I give her 100% credit on like helping people with resumes there, and then that's just branched into other ventures, and I'm gonna let her talk about those ventures on her own there. But I do want to finish what I was saying to Clint here in regards to people getting complacent with, once they make that jump when they found something that replaces that job income,
Yeah.
of having to grow and create the next thing else. And I know we were talking a little bit about automation, but I know once you did Forex, your transition was into you gave it a long explanation, but basically wholesaling.
Yeah.
Like wholesaling was the next jump that you made there. And was that what came directly next, or was there something in between there?
That came directly next. And I want to tell you, I appreciate that conversation we had, because you said it. That conversation really made me look at things a lot differently. And I'll say that because whether it be Forex, investing, they're all financial vehicles. Not everything's going to work for everybody. You know what I'm saying? You might have a temperament for options over Forex. You might have the patience and the income for stock investing. So they're all different financial vehicles with their own risk and their own rewards type of deal. So it ain't no wrong or right answer. But one of the things you made me realize is that, as somebody who had just started to more than break even with Forex, and I would win more than I lose and still do, the thing you made me realize is that, okay, you've traded in your time, your time badge, whatever. But if you don't get up and hunt, you're still not going to eat. Even with that Bitcoin play of 12,000, okay, now I can manage that and make my cool trades and see if one come up again or whatever. But if I didn't get back in the market, and every time you get in the market, you have an opportunity to lose, I wasn't going to have an opportunity to win. I had to really hunt for everything. And you really put it in my mind. It was like, well, what's the system? What's going to make money when you're not there? Last year around this time, I was working 50 to 60 hours. And this year I'm averaging around 30 hours due to automation and making and kind of scaling things a little bit. So if nothing else, man, I just want to thank you for that conversation, because it really made me look at things at a different perspective, because I was working too damn hard. And you told me that. You know what I'm saying? Usually when people say, hey, man, kudos to what you got going, but, you kind of going hard, you know what I'm saying? And, we all need our rest. Burnout comes up on you real fast, you know what I'm saying? Especially as an entrepreneur.
Right. And I think that's one of the things that I always tell people they don't think about. You're going to work harder for yourself. Like you're going to work harder for yourself than you work for anybody. But it's different when you're working for yourself and your livelihood depends on it, because then you lose that ability to want to rest. So I'm gonna jump to Marion on this. It's funny, you always see people like they get serious. And it's like, oh yeah, let me get ready. But Marion, with you, I guess I want to kind of dig deeper into like what drives your entrepreneurial spirit, because you have a good job, but I've always known you like side things. There's always been like something that you've jumped into and you'd be like, look, I can provide this. And what I appreciate about you is you kind of just weave in and out of it. Like sometimes if you feel like doing it, you're like, all right, I'm gonna run real good. I'm gonna give you like 2 months. Y'all got 2 months to get me while I'm ready. And you're like, all right, I'm not doing nothing else. I'm good. I'm gonna switch to something else. But
that is so true, because I feel that way even with doing resumes. I've been doing resumes since 2005, and I have those moments where I don't want to do them at all, and then I'll have those moments where I'll go hard into advertising and putting out that I do resumes. But for me, I feel like in order to succeed, you have to have multiple streams of income, and so the resumes just came easy for me because I was working at a company. We knew we were going to get laid off. So I said, okay, well, I'm just going to buy the resume software. And so the people on my team start paying me to do their resumes. So I was like, hey, I'm just going to make it into a business. The name has changed multiple times, but I still, do the same type thing. I still have people who reach out to me from even when I joined Mal, when we was in Mal from 2012, and they still come to me like, hey, you did my resume, can you update? I still get people who refer other people to me from when I did their resumes a long time ago. And even when I decided to take a break from doing resumes, I still had people who was like, no, you can't. I need you to, continue help me out. So it was just something that I just felt like it was easy for me. I like to write, so it was more easy for me to do. And then when I branched off into other things, I got into makeup. And so I was like, okay, I like makeup, so why not make money off of it? So it just went from there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's interesting because it becomes a passion. I know, like when I was rapping, one of the things I did when I started recording and doing my own stuff, I started Sounds Right Mastering. So I was like, well, look, I know if I'm looking for it, other people are looking for it, and I know how much it costs to get stuff mastered. So let me dish this off right quick, and you start, your passion kind of becomes a way of making money to create, the next avenues. So for me, that was kind of like my forex while I was doing music, because it was just like, oh, well, cool. Here's an album. I could do this real quick. It'd be a quick $100, quick $200 or whatever, And I think that's sometimes where there are a lot of people that have that level of success of building something, and they think, oh, I didn't figure out a whole new passion. Let me quit my job and I'm about to go do this full time. And Clint, that's the reason why I was saying there is like, there's a point where there is a number that you can get to that you see and you say, well, would I want to quit? Am I ready to quit my job to go do this? Or do I want to figure out a way to balance them both? Because one of the things I always point out to people is, even if you're equaling what you make in your job, what's the benefits? Because you still got to get medical. You got to pay for some medical. You got to look at all these different things. So there's got to be a balance point. Like I always say, if you make 50,000 and you're an entrepreneur, you got to make about 75 to really equate what you make at your job. So figuring out how to do that, I guess I wonder, and I'll ask both of you this: how do you control yourself in success? Like the emotional side of it, like I'm successful, I'm doing good doing this, and it looks like it's trending in the right direction. So where is that place where you say, okay, like it is trending in the right direction and it's cool, but yeah, I don't know if I'm ready to make that move yet.
Yeah, I wasn't ready. I can tell you right now, I wasn't ready. I didn't think I was ready. I literally was on the way to work. Like, man, I sure hate going this month. And I caught a flat on 59 and Westland by that discount tire. And I was more afraid of me being late again versus me damn near having to swerve 18 wheeler. And so I pulled off on the side, and I'm from the hood. I ain't never spent more than $40 on the tire until that day. And that day, I bought a $119 discount tire and called my wife and said, that thing I've been talking about? Yeah, it's on my mind. What's up? And she was like, you for real? Like, Lord, I thought we were supposed to wait. Yeah, we was supposed to wait, but what you think? I told her about it. She heard I was serious and was like, all right, you got my blessing, with conditions. You know what I'm saying? I respected those conditions, and I told her if you get to that point, I'll be first motherfucker clocking back in. I'll be first.
Well, I haven't reached that part yet, because for me, my job is so flexible that I can do the blogging, I can do the YouTube, I can do my resumes, because a lot of times I do my resumes while I'm doing my full-time job.
Finesse, that's what I'm talking about.
The benefits and everything that comes with my full-time job, I can't give it up just yet. And plus, things are not like on a consistent basis in regards to like the resumes. I just started, the YouTube channel, so I'm just trying to get everything, flowing and some consistency before I can say, okay, I can truly give up my 9 to 5.
So let me ask you this. Are you looking for that though? Like, are you looking for something that takes you out of it?
No, because like what I'm doing it wasn't what I initially was supposed to be doing or thought I would be doing at my job. I was all about HR management. That's all I thought I was going to be doing. Now I'm in supply chain management, which is a totally different field. And I'm going from, like last week, I'm in the office. My supervisor comes up to me, hey, Marion, can I talk to you for 5 minutes? So I was like, okay, what's going on now? Because we had been putting out fires. And he was like, oh, just want to let you know that we're going to move you to standardization. Standardization is a higher department than what I'm in now, and honestly requires people with engineering degrees to be in that department. So I was like, okay, like, cool, what's going on? He was like, I don't know about what the grade code change is going to be and all of that. I just know that it's effective January 11th. And if you want to, if you have all these questions, then, wait till the manager come in. So I just look at it, honestly, the resumes are something that I enjoy doing and I make money off of it. But I feel like in order for me to like do it as a full-time job, I really need to take it seriously in regards to like joining associations. And they do have like a class that you can take to be like considered a certified resume writer. Mm-hmm. So those are things that I thought about too. But for now, it's extra money that's coming in.
I'm not gonna lie, while I regret nothing at all, later on I was like, I was so impromptu. I could have stayed at my job and finessed those benefits more. I thought that to do what I needed to do, I required this amount of time. I was just ready to leave. I had been there for 9 years. I was ready to leave, but I could have finessed those benefits a lot more. And because I was able to do a little bit of it myself, as far as knocking out work at Methodist, because I used to do taxes and I used to sell software, and I used to do taxes right at that Methodist. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the back knocking out people's taxes. Hey, bring your W-2, please. You know what I'm saying? Right in the back, knocking it out. And I know it varies for everybody, but, the more creative you get in the situation, I love when you was like, I like to write, so since I like to write, I was like, okay, I can utilize this. It's a lot of stuff that we naturally inclined to do or like to do that can truly become a hustle. I mean, like Excel skills. I only was picking up Excel skills for fantasy football. Swear to God. It was just fantasy football to keep track of it. That was it. You know what I'm saying? I had my teams and stuff. And as I stopped doing so much fantasy football, I had these little skills in Excel that transitioned very well to real estate. And it was like, well, I like kind of, seeing what the numbers say. And all of a sudden, seeing what numbers say, trending numbers that help me transition that skill or something that I kind of already knew how to do or like to do into a hustle, so it's like an entrepreneurial mindset to say, I like this. People will pay me for this. Let me hook this up.
Yeah, I think that's great. I mean, it's funny you said hustle, and one of the reasons why I even started Critical Hustle was in that mindset of the idea of hustle became this negative connotation for most people. But growing up, where all of us pretty much grew up, like people had to hustle to make it. It
Yeah.
wasn't a negative thing. It was, hey, figure out how to make a little bit of extra income, how to be able to put a little money aside, not even money that goes into the bank. Like this is gonna be shoebox money, so that whatever my check is, that's going to that, going to there. But if I have to run to the store or do something there, I have this extra little money on the side. And I think that what happens is we've gotten so far away from that that now we are all told go to school. The school is going to be the path that you need to go to, and then you get out, you graduate, and now you have a tremendous amount of debt, and you have a job, but then you realize this job that you thought you wanted to do, or this job that you have that's paying your bills, has now got you to a place where you don't feel fulfilled, and now you're a slave to the check. And then what comes along is somebody introduces, you need to be an entrepreneur, you need to be this. And always that's where I'm like, wait, before you start getting all excited about what you need to go do, ask yourself, do you have those traits in you? Have you ever in your history of being you tried to create something from nothing? And if you have, great. Now you have a little bit of something because you have a job that's bringing you money. How can you figure out how to take your skill set and go do something else? And that's honestly one of the more important reasons why I wanted Marianne on here, is because I know that she enjoys her job. I mean, she works at a good company. It, as you can see, it promotes her along. She does great work. But in that same space, like I said, it also affords her the ability to be like, let me go get a quick couple hundred real quick over here. And she introduced her business. And then the most important thing any entrepreneur should ever learn is the word retention. So she goes out, she may go 3 months, get about 20 customers, get them. They gonna come back in about a year, 2 years. They gonna retrace back around because now they want to move up. They picked up a skill and it's there. So it's not necessarily money that you survive off of, but it's money that you can always pull out even when you don't want it.
Yeah.
And I think that that's one of the things that I'm seeing now is that everybody's being encouraged, go be an entrepreneur, go be an entrepreneur. And I'm like, look,
But that's not
everybody,
for everybody, though.
right?
At all.
Somebody's
And it's
supposed to
okay.
work as a greeter at Walmart. Like that's just what they're supposed to do.
I tried to
Somebody,
explain it to my stepdad. I was like, dude, it's not for everybody.
yeah. I mean, I tell people, this is me. I collect cards. Clint, you saw The Office. I collect cards. Seriously, I like cards. I started doing the thing, and you know what? This is a better savings account. Like this is a way for me to say, if I need to pull out some money, I can go get this, and it grows faster than what the bank does. With the way I look at forex now, and I just broke this down with my brother-in-law, is the bank's compound interest is 0.0018 a day. If I can go in forex and pull out 2%, I'm outperforming the bank.
Big time.
It moves so fast. I don't need to do anything else. Just outperform the bank. If that's all I use it for, it's just a better place to put savings. You have risk, but you can mitigate it as much as you can.
Yeah.
What I look at now is, how do people take a look at themselves for their passion, and then start looking at how to monetize their passion. Because, Marion, like you said, you like to write, but your reason for how you got in the resumes was they about to lay us off. I need to figure out what I'm going to do. And then that just showed you were a step ahead of everybody else who was going to get laid off. So you probably made a check in yourself of the people that was worried about the same things. And you were like, all right, well, my resume's already out, so I got y'all. Cool.
Yep.
I've always known you to like makeup, and you did your own makeup. Like you really was like, I'm gonna do my own makeup and show y'all. And now you've gone out, and I want you to talk about the YouTube page as well, because I'm gonna get that up there. But you go in there, and now you really you're creating yourself as a personality. And I'll say this because I'll be honest. When I first met you, you probably didn't want nobody to know who you. You was just like, I'm gonna do me, and I don't want to be on no social media for nobody, and I'm fine. So there's been a change. There's definitely been a change because you come out more. Her YouTube videos are great. They be having like pop-ups and stuff. Like she be actually doing stuff. I be feeling like I'm behind.
Actually, I'm gonna tell you, I was clueless to the YouTube thing, but honestly, people who I don't even know personally that I met through other makeup groups on Instagram actually taught me how to add the cards and do this and that. I was just asking questions, and they were very helpful. and guided me and was like, well, this is what you need. You need this app. I didn't even know there was a YouTube studio app that I needed to do this and that. I was just thinking, you just put the app up there and you just go here and there. And plus, Kinley, she helped me with iMovie and stuff because honestly, I had got so frustrated with learning how to edit videos. It was just all new to me. And I really got into it because honestly, COVID. I mean, like we at home.
Oh yeah.
I have my Instagram page. I do the makeup. So I'm just like, okay, the next step is the YouTube. And honestly, it's a tax write-off too because I keep all my receipts and everything.
See, that's going into the next step of entrepreneurship. There is like, and then Uncle Sam comes.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you, because so I know you did wholesaling, you grown the business. The learning curve.
Yeah.
Like the time that you were able to save going from working in doing Forex, your learning curve to be able to get to the next thing. Because as I've known you, once you have free time, you stop having free time. Like you just like, I don't know what to do with myself. I'm just gonna sit here. So I think one of the things that people don't think about is, like I said, you had one thing that was working fine. There are people that only do Forex. Yeah. You took that and decided that, okay, well, I'm gonna look at wholesaling houses. There are a lot of people that look at wholesaling. I remember a conversation we came and sat down and looked at it, and I was like, hey, try this, for your wholesaling. This will help you hit more people. I guess what I look at is when you look at growth and development into the next thing, what do you look for in the next entrepreneurial opportunity?
Man, I don't know if you can see it on my board right here. Let me just see.
No, I just keep seeing more you.
On my whiteboard right here. Let me see. There we go. Mm-hmm. So we had our system obstacles, optimization. What the hell is that? Automation, and that last one is proficiency. And so we got something at work. We could sell a house. Okay, well, how can we sell more houses? And every closing 30 days, sometimes 60 days. Hell, I got stuff on contract that's been for months and it's looking to close now. And so it really became okay, I've done this one time. What is it going to take to do this on a scale basis? And so I was looking at everything that I had to do. And we're talking about transaction coordination, doing the marketing, finding the properties, analyzing the properties and all that good stuff. I'm not going to lie. The biggest thing I had to learn is how to live with not being able to do stuff. As a hustler who it got to happen, I'm going to get it done. That part to actually transition into trust and delegation as well as automation, that's what really helped scale it up. It got to the point where I'm good at Excel, but I needed pivot tables and stuff that they was doing in matrices when we did stat class and stuff. Forgot all that. Luckily found a young lady by the name of Mai, who's been with us about a little over a year now, and she's great at Excel. Don't know too much about the real estate at that time, but she's great at Excel. And so was able to show her, okay, well, we need Excel to use like this. Same thing with calling people, same thing with transaction coordination. Start figuring out that I don't need to do everything and I don't need to know how to do everything. Like 50 said, I didn't go to Harvard, but the people that work for me did. And I'm the type like, actually, I can learn it. I don't think there's anything I can't learn. So if I want to learn how to code, I can learn how to code. Do I want to put 10,000 hours in? No. How about I just find somebody that's coding and I can tell them what I'm aiming for, paint the vision. And then we have the results to show them. In real estate, we have HUDs, housing, urban development, and all that good stuff or whatever. But the HUDs, the HUD report comes out, and that right there is, that shows a closing. That's when you close and all that good stuff, and they show you how much you made. So I'm talking to people with different skill sets, Access, Excel, Python, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And I'm like, hey, we need this. I do this part now. So I wear 15 hats and I start taking off hats. And that's why right now I'm working 30 hours a week compared to the old 60 hours a week. And this time next year, it should be down to 10, 15 hours a week real estate and then on to something else. You know what I'm saying? As that's scaled and sustainable. So I just say, recognize what it takes to get done. Don't be afraid of what you don't know. You're going to get an opportunity to learn it. I can't tell you how many people laugh in my face early in the going. I'm telling a guy, hey, this house, it only need 3,000 repairs in the roof. 3,000 repairs in the roof. I got a house down the street, similar size, that's 5,000 on the roof. Joker, and he left. But instead of being, pouting him like, damn, he got on my ass, whatever, like, really? So that's how much roofs go for. As of right now, I have contractors to call, but I'm in real estate, and my day to day, I don't talk to no contractors. Because now I have a taste of that's how much that's going to cost. That's what this market is going for. If I need to confirm, I can call a guy. But I can tell you right now, I haven't had to confirm with a contractor in over 6 months on my numbers. Now, for a quote, perhaps, but for my numbers, don't have to, because while they was clowning and laughing at it because it was wrong or whatever, every opportunity was an opportunity to learn. And so I got so much stuff just from trying and being wrong. We had nothing but gumption out the gate, nothing but gumption and the will to make something shake. They say people were selling houses this way. I thought I was going to need 150,000 to sell houses. We started because some of the guys who was trading with me, we got into it together. We put our money together from trade and said, all right, well, like for me, trading can take care of my day-to-day bills. And then whenever I finally get to close something, because at that time closings was far and far between, I'm going to use it to stack up. Now, the way you were saying you using Forex for like the savings account, that's how I use stocks. You know what I'm saying? As far as, okay, we'll close a nice property. All right, I will put that into my personal savings, and that's going to go into the market. And so, I've been sitting on some shares for a while, and I'll just either buy more of those stocks, or I'll, just add some to the watch list and just peep it until some new close, But just identifying, don't be afraid to be wrong, because you're going to learn about it, and shit, that ain't going to be the end of you. Since somebody say no, all right, that's it. That's the worst that can happen. I say, don't be afraid to be wrong, and you'll find out whatever you need to grow. And don't be afraid to trust and delegate people. It can be on your own terms, because I have NDAs and all type of shit, just in case. Well, all type of things. But with that being said, like today, I kicked it today and talked, entrepreneurship with some buddies and stuff. We have, a receptionist. I used to have to get all those calls. And so everybody who know me, like, if you call Clint, you might get them. You might not, because the phone is always ringing. I don't have that issue no more. I didn't like answering random calls when I was doing stuff. So instead of saying, well, I can't do it, so I can't be in that business, I brought a receptionist on, and told her, okay, well, your profits would be XYZ if we clear or whatever. So now she answers all those phone calls and stuff. And I plan to do that with the rest of the business, automation and delegation,
That should be a shirt. So, so Marion, so I want to bring back over here, because you guys are like, it's interesting because, like I said, I've known you both a while. So, and I see the growth patterns there. Here's my question for you, Marion, in terms of putting yourself out there, because you put yourself as a face now, more so than just like, I'm doing these things as just a name. What gave you, I guess, the encouragement or the comfort to do that, to like be face to face and just be like, look, I don't know who's watching, but I'm here?
Honestly, I'm gonna say my boyfriend Jason, because he was like, you can do it. You can do it. If they doing it, because he actually will sit with me and watch the YouTube videos and be on Instagram, and I would show him things, and he was like, you can do this. You could do it better. So I just sucked it up, and I was like, okay. Let me just try. And that's all I can do is try.
Once you tried, what encouraged you to keep doing it? Like, did you set like a parameter, like, okay, I'm setting a goal for myself, and if I don't see this, then I'm gonna do something else? Or like, is there something that you think could hit you that make you be like, all right, I'm out?
Not in regard to this, because I have a love for it. So whether I get 5 views or 30 views, I'm still gonna, do the videos, because I've invested my time and money into it, and I like it. So I took it as another step as far as the journey that I decided to go on, because at first I was just going to stick with just Instagram and just doing Instagram and kind of make my WordPress blog where I can make money off of that from the ads. Then I was like, okay, I can do the YouTube too. So if I can have multiple streams or turn into multiple streams of income, then why not? Because I'm sitting at my desk, I'm putting on the makeup. I have people who ask me questions about the makeup. So I'm like, okay, I'll just go ahead and just start doing it. And I've invested in a lot of equipment too. So I'm just not gonna give up on it.
And I think you hit a very important thing that I always talk to people about. And for people who don't know that I like profanity, I'm just going to share this now. There is a point where you, as an entrepreneur, you just decide, I really don't give a shit what nobody thinks. Like you really don't care. Like Critical Hustle started for me for t-shirts. I like t-shirts. Like I own probably more t-shirts than a person should. I chart life by t-shirts. Like when I rapped, I would buy a t-shirt somewhere and be like, this t-shirt has a story to it. So then at a certain point, I was like, well, if I'm gonna buy people's random t-shirts, I might as well make my own random t-shirts and go from there. Whatever the messages were. First t-shirt I ever had was "I lost my hustle but took yours." And that was really the beginning of the thought process for me of, hey, you know what? There's probably nothing I can't do. I just have to scale it to where I am now. And, looking at both of what you guys are doing right now, there are people that are doing exactly what you're doing and may have been doing it at a larger platform. And you may see them. And the thing is, where I think most people, they jump and they don't ask the question, why not me? They go, well, I should be, but not why not me? Because why not me presents you with the ability to say, well, why not me? And then you can go through a list of things on why it hasn't been you. What do you need to do to make that you, if that's what you see that you want to get there? So I've learned that sometimes you look at whatever it is that you want to achieve at this larger scale, and you just start breaking it down to where you are. And both of you guys kind of touch on that to say, like, you are marrying, like you said, you were already doing makeup, you were already doing your makeup, and people would see your makeup and ask you questions. So all you decided to do was like, well, let me just put it out there for anybody. And if it makes money, great. But to your point, I'm gonna be doing it regardless, so it's fine. So it doesn't feel uncomfortable, it doesn't feel unnatural to go out and put this stuff out there because, to your point, you had a Instagram page prior to what you're doing, and you would take the pictures, and people would ask questions. So now it just goes there. I don't know if you look at this, but have you thought about being like a makeup artist as well, or just more so tips?
I've practiced on family and stuff. I don't think I could do it. First of all, Pete, it's hard. It's very hard because everyone don't like the same thing. I'm not into Instagram makeup, and that's what a lot of people are into now. All the intricate eye looks and all that. That's not everyday type things. Now, if you want an everyday look, I'm your girl. But in regards to what people see on Instagram, I can't do. And also, people need to understand those are edited pictures. There are filters on those pictures. That's not where you're going to be walking when you get up out the chair. You're not going to be looking like the same person that you see on those pictures. Because I am in several makeup groups, and they talk about that all the time. On some of them use 4 or 5 different apps just to edit their pictures, and I'm like, no, that's not showing your true art. So I've practiced, but I just don't think that I would want to do it on anyone else. I'll show you and guide you, but you're gonna do it on your own face.
No, I mean, and the funny thing about that is, it kind of going back to Clint. One of the things that I've noticed as he's taking this journey that he's on is he's always looked to reach back to teach people the path. Like it's never been, hey, look at what I'm doing, look at what I'm doing. He's more of the like, okay, if I can do it, let me show somebody else how they can do it too. Let me show them the effort, or show them what it takes. And I'm gonna tell you right now, nobody has more energy than him. And I'm in the group, and I see how everybody else gets excited. I was like, you guys are still not gonna out excite him. Like he's like, you guys are still hoping to see your life change. He's changed his life, and he's seeing it. So there's a genuineness about it. For me, I tell anyone, I like watching people succeed, but I like being able to know their story. Like when you look at, I use G Unit. I like Tony Yayo. I don't really care about the rest of them, because when I see Tony Yayo, he's genuinely happy. Like his whole life has changed. He knows it could have been something different, and he's genuinely just, I'm living it all to the best of my ability. And so when I look at Clint, I sit there and I just admire it all the time. It's just saying, you know what? I haven't seen a dude this happy about life in a long time. Like, he could have won. People can win the lottery and they're happy, like I got money. But I think that for people that are true entrepreneurs, there's something about knowing you did it yourself. Something that comes in the fact of like, no, and Clint might be making millions. I don't know. But even if you sit there, if he was making $100,000, like, he's going to give the same level of happy because it came from absolutely nothing but a thought and work. And to your point, Marion, and what you said, knowing that I don't want to be anybody's makeup artist. What I'd rather show people is like, look, this is how you can do your makeup every day and just be dope and comfortable and make people feel like you spent thousands of dollars. Like there's a market that exists for there because there are a lot of people who are, they don't know how to apply their makeup. They don't know how to blend things. I see them all the time. I remember back in my younger days of school, you see girls, the front of their face look on point. Then you get around that ear, like right here, and they're a whole other shade. Like that other shade.
You have to hit the back and the knee.
I'm just saying, I just see some faces, they two-toning. They out here two-toning. And no offense to anybody out there who's two-tone. Like, you good from the front. You good straight up. But 3D, you didn't change colors on me a little bit. But
I struggle too, and it's like it's difficult because you can go to one person and they'll be like, oh, you this shade, and you go to that person. And then some people don't care. They just want the money. So you sit in the chair, and some makeup artists don't have mirrors around, so you can't see what they're doing. So you have a whole face where when you look in the mirror, you like, who am I? I want to enhance what I look like, but I don't want to like a different person. And that's what a lot of people get into it. So I figured like, okay, I'm going to take what I learned from going to free classes at Sephora and watching other things and show people how to do everyday type makeup because that's what I like. And if I can make money from it, that's what I'm going to do.
Man.
So let me ask you guys this. We got like 15 minutes. So I want to like touch on this. What advice do you give to people with the dollar and the dream? Like they have an idea. Let's just start there. They have an idea. How do you go about taking that idea to reality?
Man, dreams to reality. Go ahead, man. I'm going to sip this cup.
I think that it's all about, first thing you need to do is research because you need to understand what you're getting into. I'm going to go into my business 101 class. You need to do like a SWOT analysis, your strengths, weaknesses, your opportunities, your strengths. You need to know and think about, okay, is this going to be something short? What are you trying to get out of it? Is this like something where it's going to take you where this is what you want to do and you don't want to work for anyone else? Because there are going to be sacrifices and you need to understand that there are sacrifices. And what are you going to do are you going to give up? Are you going to have a plan B? It's just so many different things that you have to. And I also think that you should kind of like network with other people that's in that arena. I know before COVID, like the city of Houston has SCORE, so you can link up with people who've been in that same industry and kind of get a feel of what you're interested in. So it's all about, I would say, first research and try to understand what you're getting yourself into.
I love that because that research is so important, and you want to research, and it's a fine balance of research and not falling into the analysis paralysis range. I can definitely say for me, whatever you want to do, that's cool. You want to do it. That's live. But the real question is, what problem does this solve? You know what I'm saying? Is there, so like you can already be in a saturated market, but you provide a solution that people don't. Like if everybody looking at Instagram makeup and you're giving every day, I guarantee you, you know what I'm saying, there's somebody say, I don't want all that, and they're perfect for you. You know, so what problem can I solve? And with real estate, I mean, I had nobody's real estate background. I was good at numbers and I got a mouthpiece. That was it. I had nobody real estate experience. And to see one deal close after 4 months, this is a deal that we put no money on. And we turned around and sold it in 2 days, a fourplex, 77026. Got paid at the bank, didn't even use a title company, you know. And I was like, wow, we imagined that. We thought it was possible, and we went out there and solved it. The reality of it is the problem that we found, fourplexes in that area, they're not off market often. And so that investor happened to find like, man, that's within the loop. I need that. The problem was that, man, if it's on market, it's usually tacked with a whole bunch of fees. And then I'm not sure if it'll be able to close, because certain good deals to close, they got all this stuff in the way, taxes and probate. This was a deal that didn't even need the title company to close. So it was really the seller was looking to sell because he was tired landlord, and the investor had been looking to invest, but just he had a couple good realtors, and realtors come in handy in all aspects of real estate. Even though I'm not a realtor, I work with them hand in hand all the time, but we provided a solution that they didn't. Here's an off-market deal that's ready to close. You ain't got this, you ain't got that, you're just ready to go. So if you can, whatever you want to do, align it to the problem that needs to be solved. And there's your lane, there's your niche, there's your why. And from there, some good researching, some networking, and just really trying it. And, Rome wasn't built in a day. Like, don't be afraid to fail. Our very first contract that took us 2 months to get was a hotel in Sonora, Texas. You know what I'm saying? Still don't know what the hell that's at. But in Sonora, Texas. And we had this joker on contract for 30 days. We sent it to everybody that want, and everybody, some people said yes, some people no. Our numbers was wrong. We didn't know at the time, but our numbers were all the way off. And 2 days later from that day, at 5 p.m., the contract expired. At 7 p.m. that same day, we're online looking for deals. And we found a guy who just posted on Facebook, and it was his property. He was just looking for an offer. And that's, so had we been like, man, that first one, 30 days, we done went hard. We ain't gonna get no money off of it. The owner talking about, I'm gonna sue you. He didn't read the contract. Talking about, I'm gonna sue you, you know what I'm saying? And all that good stuff. And I'm like, man, is this even for me? I had that split second because you're gonna have those split seconds, but I remember there's a whole lane right here. And then I started looking at the people who were already doing it. He sold a house, he sold a house and he ain't paying no money down. I think I could do this. After that first deal closed, I mean, ain't a lot, I couldn't been told nothing. It worked? Really? Really? Okay, let's do that again. You know what I'm saying? And figure out how to do it again. So don't be afraid to fail. Get out there and give it a shot and solve a problem. Man, you solve a problem, that's it. If you just solve a problem and you in there. You
know what? What's hilarious about that is I think people don't think about the encouragement of the first person. Like that first person that validates whatever it is you're doing. So like, Marion, I can say this because I've experienced this. That first person that you have no idea who they are, that makes a comment, sends you a message about what you're doing, you're like, oh, I'm in there now. I got one. I got one.
I felt that way when I started my lash business. My first customer, I was like, who is this? Because it was from a chick from New York, but it was someone that was a part of my engagement group on Instagram. And so she was like, yeah, sis, you said you was going to start the business and I told you I was going to support. She was like, I got you. And as soon as I made my webpage public, bam, she was like the first one to order. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, that validation is always, people don't think about how important that is. Like, I always talk about support. Somebody will always around you say, you're going to be great. You're going to do wonderful. You're smart. Whatever. But it's that one person that has no reason to tell you that basically becomes like the most powerful person above a million people telling you can't do it, around the people telling you can. That one sense of validation of like, I got one person. And now that I got this one person, I'm validated. And I think, Clint, you brought up a very good point of you have to realize that you're going to take losses somewhere. Like that's part of the process. You're gonna put the wrong video out. You're gonna do different things. I am the king of, if I said I'm gonna do it, it's coming. What I've learned, to your point, is you get around people, you put people around you that can make your vision work the way you need it to work. Because I tell my guys now, I could care less. Like if I need to get this out, it's gonna get out, because the most important thing sometimes is the information. Like there's a beautiful way that I probably could present this whole conversation, but I wanted happy hours to be conversations with people and have a real conversation, not the you guys see, you don't really get no prep. You get an email. I was late on y'all email, but you get an email with like 5 ideas of what it's going to be, and then we just going to have a conversation. Because what I've learned over time is people like to have talking points. People have a whole list of things that they'll want to say, and they'll try and guide the conversation. But I'm like, look, if somebody's watching something about being an entrepreneur, they don't need the standard things that you hear in books and all that. Like there are a million books that you can read that give you all types of advice. But how about a person saying, listen, my first deal, we lost. My first Forex trade, listen, I went to Forex, I had $500. I finished my first Forex trade with -$5. you know,
Yeah.
but I saw what it was and I figured out, okay, this is where I'm wrong. You learn to grow there. I think being an entrepreneur is incremental growth. It's one of the reasons why I'm so adamant about don't quit your job because if you go out and if you hit that 12,000 on your first play out the gate, you won a lottery. You didn't learn anything. You just hit a lottery ticket real quick, and now you thinking this is how it's always going to be. And then you jump off the ledge and you realize there's nothing down there but the ground, and there's nowhere for you to fly. So one of the reasons why I wanted to do these kind of conversations is because I know there are people that are where you are now, Marion, where I am now, where you're working and you're doing these things and you're really doing them because you enjoy it. If it makes money, then great. That's cool. Maybe you have a vision of like how it can make more money later on, but it's not being a makeup artist. Sometimes the most important thing is I'm not putting makeup on nobody else. I don't want to do that. Okay, cool. So to Clint's point, let me solve another problem where you're looking at people just want to be fly every day. So let me show you how to be fly every day and won't have to go pay somebody $80 to get you fly for an event. And you probably gonna out makeup the people that are around you because you're at least learning how to apply makeup to yourself. To Clint's point, I mean, you said it. It was like I had to learn to delegate. I'm so you get so used to doing everything on your own, and you're like, I'm making money, but I don't see my wife. like I'm missing time points in there. So then you start looking at it, and I tell people, people don't realize how little amount of money it takes to really change your life. Like to genuinely change your life. Like when you were working at Methodist there, and you making $1,600. So if you made $3,000 a month trading, you didn't change your whole life. You didn't double up on whatever you're doing, and that's repeatable. Yeah. One of the people that I've interviewed several times that people will see is Jay. And I use him when we talked, the guy that started the company that I worked at, which is blinds.com. And I always tell him, I was like, the minute you made as much online as you did driving around, going from house to house, how did you keep going? Because most people will stop. Yeah. Most people will stop. They'd be like, I done made this and I don't have to do nothing. That's easy. And he said it was because he knew how much was out there. And the first thing he did was he went and found people who knew all the other stuff that he didn't know how to do. The coding, everything he knew. He knew how to sell. He knew how to sell and how to talk to people and how to have ideas. And I think that's where you're getting into that mastery level of, I now know how to have the ideas, and now I'm learning how to automate it. So all you're going to end up doing is taking what you're learning here and apply it to whatever the next business is and be like, all right, we're transitioning automation over here because it's rinse and repeat. That's the ultimate hustler's mindset is, I done figured out something that works. Let me apply it over here. Let me apply it over there. So I do, again, appreciate you guys giving me your time. Marion, I want you to plug your everything, basically, because I didn't get a chance to get your information earlier. So you go ahead and plug it, and I'm going to create banners as you plug it. Go.
YouTube and Facebook and Instagram is the same, Marion's World 2.0.
Is that an apostrophe S, or what are we doing?
No, okay. It shouldn't be apostrophe S.
I'm just...
I think with YouTube it is, but I know, YouTube, Instagram and Facebook.
We'll be close enough. We'll get there. I'm gonna just tell me if I'm right. Are we going right? Are we scrolling across right?
Yeah. So right. YouTube has the apostrophe S, but Instagram and Facebook doesn't. So yeah.
Here you go. I'm gonna get you. If y'all check her SEO, it should still work no matter what.
Straight up.
And Clint, what about you?
Well, if you, like you said, the SEO, if you Google monetary realty, monetary like money, you'll see it pop up with the office and everything or whatever. But YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, monetary realty. And I can tell you right now as well, I'm wholesaling now, but I can tell you that's not my goal. In investing, whether it be investing in Forex or stocks or whatever, you get into your demo account first and you play around with it to see. Wholesaling for me is a demo that pays. So instead of, being on the line for a flip that it's not going to work, versus thinking rehab is going to be 40,000 and turn out to be 55,000. I've got a chance to get into a arena of so many different real estate investors, old, new, single family, multifamily, and I'm sitting up there providing a solution for them, but learning on the back end. So that's what you do. That's what you want that rate. Okay. You like to buy your lumber at this time, learning all that good stuff so that I can continue to be an investor. Because that's my end goal, is to invest. And with that being said, I'm not saying that I'm not saying I don't charge, but especially in Forex and real estate, a lot of people make their money off the people versus the actual thing that they say. And I'm really big against that. Like, I got a lot of clicks with some of these dry ass Forex people online. Hey, trade from your phone. Trade from your phone is a luxury that you get after you learn how to break it down on the laptop. You jump in here trading off the phone, you ain't doing no real analysis. You know what I'm saying? And so I got a real issue with that. With that being said, monetaryrealty.com, we have a free real estate course that teaches everything that we're looking for, how we finding a deal. We're also posting live case studies of, okay, so we sold this deal. Why did the investor think it worked? Why was it a good deal for this guy? So I can start breaking down to people who have, disposable income. Okay, so I can get in real estate at this price. Or what are the pitfalls coming, so you can look ahead of it. Most people on their first flip, they expect to make around 20 to 30% return. The average person makes between 9% to 15% because of the learning curve, because there's always little things that come up. So I want to give back with that free real estate course. And I have another course coming out that's going to be just really investing one-on-one. That's Forex, stocks, entrepreneurship, options, and honestly, and some risk tolerance stuff, so I could throw in there whatever. And really, it ain't fully. I guess it's one-on-one stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's stuff that I want to be able to introduce without busting somebody who's curious over the head. Now mind you, for one-on-ones and stuff like that, I definitely got to charge, but I want to be able to give stuff back. Like, I gave this back, not for the dub that comes along with it, but just to share it. And, we have a investing group. At one point was $500 to get in before we rebranded. Upon the next rebranding, $75 lifetime, and it comes with a free course. Because the lick is not the people. The lick is multiple minds focused on the same thing, whether it be investing, Forex, this and that. A lot of different perspectives of people you trust, so monetaryrealty.com is the website, and it's a lot of free resources on there. And I want to stress that free course. Go on there, check it out. And I got a lot of goodies in there, like YouTube videos, contracts, and all types of stuff. So feel free to enjoy it. And if it helps you out, send me a message.
Everything he said, he said a lot. But I will say this, Clint is one of the most genuine people that I know. So I 100% trust that when he says, well, in fact, I don't even have to say I 100% trust. I've talked to him about things that are important about inspiring people to realize that you have access to money. Like the idea that you don't have money is something that's planted in you, not that you don't have money. Because if you have a job, I'd say this, if you have a job and you have Jordans on your feet, you have money. You just have been putting your money someplace else. And one of the things the reason why it's important to have Clint on here is because he's somebody I watched change their life in the process of just wanting to be and getting to a different place. Your motivation is going to be whatever your motivation is, but from a standpoint of trying to create like-mindedness, that's why I know that his course is why he offers the free course, because really it's a filter system. And I'm going to just put it out there. It's a filter system. It's free. So if this doesn't set your mind to think in a certain path, then he's probably not the person you want to deal with. So, he's looking for partners. And that's one of the things that I always say, that when you're an entrepreneur, your network is going to be the most important thing you have. And sometimes when you don't know anybody, creating it, because if you don't have no money right now, somebody who's making $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a month trying to tell you you can do it too, but you got to pay $1,500 for this course, I'm pretty sure they're making their lifestyle off of you while selling you this dream. But when you sit there and say it's free and you learn, it's the same information. It's in a book. Everything that I will ever teach anybody, everything that I'm pretty sure Clint will teach, anything that Marion will show you is available to you in a book. It's available to you you can watch 1 million YouTube channels and probably get to the same information. But the question is, are you willing to do that? And if so, you need to find more people that are willing to do it, because chances are your circle, if y'all all kind of look at each other like, where we going to get money from, y'all all don't have that same mindset. So I tell you, entrepreneurship to me is one of those more one of the most important things that you can have, because really we're all doing it for our kids and their kids. We don't like to acknowledge it. We don't think about it that way, but we're trying to set the table for them. And even if it's not you doing it monetary wise, it might just be in mindset and what you instill. You know, I'm gonna end on that because I could talk hours about go get a good job and all that wonderful stuff that I grew up being told. But the thing about it is create a path. Create a path for yourself. Create a path for your kids, because they're watching you. Somebody's watching you try and figure out what you're doing, and they may watch Marion and be like, "Oh, see, she's got a good thing, but she don't want to do makeup artists. Look, I'm gonna just go to people's house every day and do their makeup in the morning. I'm gonna find them clients, and that might be who you are. Who would have ever thought somebody could get paid to do your grocery shopping?
You know,
and you not be a multimillionaire? Like, I would tell everybody, this is my secret to getting rich, and I've said this to everyone, is if you can figure out how to make the 99% feel like they're in that 1%, you will be in that 1%. It's just make it easy for people. And so if you have any entrepreneurial dreams and goals, like Clint said, find something that makes it better, solve a problem. My thing is just make people feel like they're in that 1%, and it's fine. The poorer the person that you can put in that 1%, the more money you're gonna make. Is really that is the honest to God truth. Again, if you have a website that you guys want to push, I know Clint already hit you with the monetary realty, and he gave you everything he did. I don't think I've ever been to the site, so I'm like, oh, that's where all the information is. Great.
Yeah. It's a lot over there.
Marion, if you want to hit your last site there, because you said Marion's World, but I'm like,
yeah, but the last site I'm revamping it, so because I'm going to add more stuff than the lashes. I'm going to venture off into some accessories and shades.
So what you just said is I want more money of y'all. So follow her at Marion's World, and you'll get everything there. But
yeah, I'll tell you my favorite thing is doing the makeup, but like how I did my unpopular opinion series on the love and relationships, I'm going to bring that back too, because I did get a lot of views because my opinions on how people do relationships and stuff always be the unpopular one. So I'm gonna bring that back as well.
No, I think, look, you give them a real person. Like I'll say this, and then I'm really gonna get out of here. Before anybody was doing any of this, and I'm gonna give him credit by name, Stanley Clark said that if you want to sell anything in the future, you're not selling a product, you're selling yourself. And he said that before I was rapping, before there was a West Coast or anything like that. And that was the trend that I decided to follow in my entrepreneurial journey. Is I'm not selling anything other than me and what I think and what I believe. And if I have a conversation with you, you know what I'm about. So here, let me put it out in the world. Let me find people who I think have great personalities, that have businesses that I think can help people, and give that exposure. So like I said, anybody that you see on my show, unless you see me tell them off on the show, is literally somebody that I 100% co-sign in what they're doing, because I know it's a genuine gift that they're giving out for whatever their talent is. So again, I thank you guys a lot. You'll find them. You can always find me at Critical Hustle, and then I'll point you in the direction of all of them if you want to say that. Or you can go back and go to YouTube and subscribe, and you can find all these wonderful people there directly at Critical Hustle. Everything for me is Critical Hustle, because that's life. So again, thank you, Marion. Thank you, Clint.
Hey man, I so appreciate it. And
I forgot one question. I did this so backwards. What are y'all sipping on? Because I forgot. That's usually my first question.
I knew you was gonna ask.
Well, I'm finishing off.
That is really good.
Where is that? I'm finishing off some of this 12-year Dingston whiskey. You know what I'm saying? Me and the Dingston kicking it tonight. So I got my Batman cup and holder.
And like I said, I'm on sobriety right now until I get off of here. And then I'm gonna go change the world. But I say this because I don't like to put dates and stuff, but the next 2 weeks are holidays. So really, I'm going to do greatest hits. So you guys will get ESPN version of so far probably what our top 10 best moments are. And I got about 20 hours of video to watch to pull them out. But we done seen some ridiculousness over the last 5-6 weeks. Man, I think you've seen a lot of the things that have been on there. So you can just imagine how entertaining this will be. But again, thank you all for coming and doing the show. Thank everyone for watching. See you guys in the new year.
And I got one last thing to say. Whether you move an inch or a mile, man, you made progress. Entrepreneurs, forgive yourself. You know what I'm saying? For them days where you ain't got it or whatever. Some days you're going to move an inch, some days you're going to move a mile, but you made progress. And that's enough. Thank you.
Wise words.